Bom dia. That's good morning in Portuguese. You could say good morning back, that'd be great. Well, thank you so much. My name is Jen White. I am a senior organizational development consultant at Caterpillar, which means I get the privilege of going around the world and working with people, and I brought some great friends with me today. In the middle is Jennifer Zammuto. Jennifer is the manager of our Caterpillar Foundation. She has, along with a team, led the transformation of our foundation to a true thought leader in the philanthropy world. She has the opportunity to advocate with key stakeholders globally in issue areas around the world. So those of us that are planning financing and development here in Peoria, imagine doing that on a global scale. That's the privilege that Jennifer brings to the table. She enhances corporate social innovation every day. We know that at Caterpillar, our road to innovation starts with diversity and inclusion. Jennifer is fluent in French. Would you like to greet everyone this morning?
Oui, bonjour, je suis heureuse d'être ici. Ajoute, oui.
Merci
That's what a degree in French will get you. You can stand up on the stage and say that.
Great payout for the family bills there. Yeah. She completed LEAD, Powering Up Leadership program at Bradley University. Jennifer has a certificate in export and import and attended Université d'Avignon in France. She has a degree in French business translation from Northern Illinois University. She serves on the board of the Heart of Illinois United Way, in addition to co-chairing the Children and Youth Allocation Committee, serving on the Solutions Council, and volunteers for the Power of the Purse event annually. And down there on the end is my friend Henry Vicary. Henry is the Director of Guest and Community Relations at Caterpillar. He is responsible for fostering critical relationships and serving as a delegate for strategic initiatives throughout the region. The team Henry leads at Caterpillar includes our visitor center, our corporate tours group, heritage services, and all employee and retiree social activities, some of my favorite work activities. Henry graduated from Drake University Law School and joined CAT in 2002 after 8 years of private practice. He held a series of leadership roles in legal services before managing Caterpillar's guest and community relations. Henry is a Peoria native and a proud second-generation Caterpillar employee, which we're going to talk about a little bit. He serves on the boards of the Peoria Area Chamber of Commerce, Greater Peoria Economic Development Council, and Downtown Development Corporation of Peoria. So I brought some pretty fancy friends this morning so that we could talk about community impact.
And Jen, I don't speak French, so I'll just say good morning.
Fantastic. Fantastic. I was worried you were going to break out in aloha over there. So as you know, Caterpillar is a global organization with over 100,000 employees around the world. My background is leadership development, and since joining Caterpillar, a specialty in diversity and inclusion. So before we get started on our personal stories, I just wanted to talk very quickly about our employee resource groups at Caterpillar, where we have well over 10,000 employees across the globe actively volunteering in their facilities and in their communities, making a difference. Everything ranging from CAN, the Caterpillar African American Network, to ADEPT, abled and disabled people partnering together. So what we thought we would do is, since at Caterpillar we're in the business of building a better world, was talk just real quickly about how each of us have been personally impacted by the life that we've chosen in the world of volunteering. And I'm going to start with Jennifer. Would you mind sharing with us a little bit about your experiences?
Sure. You know, when I first came into this role, I was voluntold, I think, as Dom is going to say, that I was joining the Caterpillar Foundation, and I really hadn't spent a lot of time in the philanthropy world, and I hadn't really volunteered a lot. I'm of a generation where I spent my summers and weekends working at the mall. We weren't volunteering, and it was really fun. Right. Anyway, so I really hadn't had the opportunity to be involved, and something happened in my life a couple of years ago. The tornado hit Washington, Illinois, and my house was essentially destroyed. And I never really thought about using services after that, because services are for other people, right? Services are for people that need something, and I certainly don't need anything because I live in the suburbs, and that's not the way that we do things. And a very wise person over at the United Way at one point said to me, in a way that I'm going to make it a little bit nicer, stop doing this, put your pride aside and realize that there are services out there to help you through the things that you're being challenged with. And I thought, oh my goodness, he's right. And so reached out, even though it was a little bit difficult, and pushed my dignity aside and just said, no, I can ask for some help. And I did, and it actually worked. Imagine that. So it was very interesting for me to be on the other side of the work that we do and to see what it's like when you need some services and then get some great help.
Very good. That's a great story. Jennifer neglected to mention her two beautiful children that were equally as impacted, no doubt, by that tornado and all of the pressure that added to her, not only as a recipient herself, but bringing her family into getting their needs met through that tragedy.
Well, and I mean, I think we have to put these kinds of things in perspective. Nobody died. I mean, we had a couple of deaths in the community, but considering what happened, I consider that to this day a blessing. We were very lucky, and I got rid of so much stuff. If you guys have a garage full of crap you want to put in a garage sale, this is a great way to do it. I started over, so
Now that's
it's
the
all
attitude.
good perspective.
It took a little while probably to get that positive attitude, but that's the
a week or
attitude
two,
to have. Henry, how about you? Would you share with us your story?
I'm going to tell you a story about a really cool guy who lived back in the 1920s, a long time ago, from this area. His name was Delmer Asbell, and he and his dad saved up all their money to buy a little coal mine out in Route 24. If you go out Route 24 toward Mapleton, today you can still see the entrance of the mine shaft still today. And they did pretty well in the 20s, and then, as all of you know, the Great Depression hit. 1930, 31, 32 was a horrible time for Peoria, but it also was a horrible time for the country. And banks were closing, no jobs, food lines were long. You know all the story from reading the history books. And it wasn't just Peoria, it was all throughout the country. So Delmer and his dad were faced with losing their business, and they were from Kingston Mines, Pekin area. And what complicated that was, beyond that, people were coming to them, to their mine, and saying, please give us some coal so we can heat our homes, because the harsh winters in the 30s were leaving people with a very tough time, not the ability to heat their homes. So not only did Delmer and his dad oblige and give folks coal so they could get out and the folks could make it through the harsh winters, but every night after work they loaded up their donkey, and they had one donkey and a trailer that went in the mine and back out. Not only did they oblige people who came over to ask, but they pulled that donkey and that trailer throughout Kingston Mines, throughout Mapleton, throughout Glassford, giving people coal so they could survive, and literally kept people from freezing in 1931, 32, and 33. I tell that story because Delmer and his dad made a difference. And Peoria has a rich history and legacy of volunteerism and giving back to the community. And each one of you I know out there are doing just that today. And that's what makes Peoria really special. I did not know that story at all about Delmer Asbell until my grandfather, Delmer Asbell, died in 1983. And soon thereafter, a lot of people came up and said, you know what, let me tell you this really cool story about your grandpa. And he wasn't special back then. Many, many people did the same thing to help their fellow community members. And you folks are doing the same thing today. And we have the opportunity to leave that legacy right here in Peoria in 2016, just like my grandfather did back in 1931. So, thank you.
Not a bad story, huh? Yeah, you know, when we were preparing for this event, we thought, should we talk about all of the wonderful things we do? Well, yeah, we do a lot of wonderful things, but let's talk about all of the wonderful things we've experienced as a result of participating in volunteerism, personally and professionally. When I came to Caterpillar a couple of years ago, I was sitting on, for many years, the board of an organization called Dress for Success, which is a worldwide group dedicated to helping women enter or re-enter the workforce. And I spent years and years teaching leadership to those participants, talking about job search and how a job search is a full-time job, doing mock interviews, checking resumes. When I came to work at Caterpillar, we do a great job of announcing new employees. So when I came on board, there was an announcement that went out, and I got 5 or 6 emails from women who work at Caterpillar welcoming me and thanking me for helping them get a job there. In the 3 years since I started, I've since developed a network of 12 women whom I've had the opportunity to meet that came through the Dress for Success program at some point in my life of volunteering and now are coworkers of mine. Just a great story of pride for me about the impact that you can have that you don't even realize and how it comes back to you in dividends. Another quick story about our ERGs, Employee Resource Groups at Caterpillar. In 2015, our Young Professionals organization, which is about 3,000 employees across the world, we have 9 Young Professionals chapters in the United States and 10 Young Professionals chapters outside the United States. Just one of the activities of each of those 19 organizations was in Trivandrum, India, where I had the opportunity to travel a couple of years ago. A very depressed location. Our Young Professionals group participated in a project where they planted 500 trees just in Trivandrum, India alone. And the American school and a local school partnered together in a project called Transforming Lives. Now, I wanted maybe Jen and Henry to share stories of the impact of the community. You know, we have 2 serial philanthropists with us on the stage. So, Jennifer, would you mind talking a little bit about the work that you do in the foundation and how that impacts the world?
Sure. And, listen, this is Peoria, and it's the Caterpillar Foundation. I don't want to sit here and talk about the Caterpillar Foundation all day. I think when Jan first talked about this group of people coming together, I was really excited about it, because what we've realized is if we want to attack problems in our community, if we want to look at how do we alleviate poverty, we've been trying for years and put lots and lots of money in. And what we've realized over time is that we can't do this by ourselves. Caterpillar is not the only thing in Peoria. Yes, a wonderful company that does amazing things, but we can't do this by ourselves. That's Henry and I work together all the time, even though really our paths at work should not be crossing. And what we've realized is we've got to bring governments, we've got to bring cities, municipalities, not-for-profits, foundations, corporations, and individuals together, because there really aren't enough resources if we try to do this on our own. And I went to a meeting recently. It was with some federal folks from HUD, the Housing and Urban Development Group, with United Way, and we were sitting down talking about homelessness in the Peoria area. And I've got to tell you, I was expecting this to be like getting your taxes done, that it was going to hurt, and there would be forms with weird numbers, and I was really sort of geared up for a bad meeting. And we sat down and we talked about the issues, and we talked about how we could each individually address them with what we bring to the table, and it was a fantastic meeting, and I was really excited about it. And the folks from HUD said, wow, why is Caterpillar sitting at a table with United Way and HUD? This doesn't even make sense. We don't see this. And I said, well, the same reason you're sitting at the table. We're just trying to address this problem in our community. And what we call that at the Caterpillar Foundation is Together Stronger. Together Stronger is our how and our why. It's how we work together and why, because it makes us stronger. It's not that complicated. And we can't do this by ourselves. And so I'm really excited about the talent in our community, the resources. There is no amount of money that can make up for a volunteer coming in and helping an organization. Not one. You couldn't have a zillion dollars come in and do more than what volunteers can do. So I am really excited about what our community is capable of if we just come together and address these issues collectively.
Ah, well said. Well said. I told you my specialty was diversity and inclusion, and Jennifer just set it up so nicely, right? Bringing together, deliberately seeking diverse perspectives, different people who've had different experiences, and then being open-minded to their perspectives. Not agreeing. Inclusion doesn't mean agreeing. Inclusion means open-mindedness. It means sitting together with people that you might not know, you might not be familiar with, and coming up with new ideas by asking what if, instead of always pointing at a spreadsheet and saying why not. That's the glory of 200 plus people coming together for a breakfast to celebrate how much more we could do if we just keep coming together. Henry, how about you? Tell us about your job.
When I took this job over from 3 years ago, I came out of legal services. First of all, I've been doing community relations for 3 years for CAT. Now, my legal buddies in legal services don't think I've worked a day since I left legal services, because they think this. But
True.
I did 100 meetings in 100 days, and went to each community leader around and sat in front of them and asked for their advice. And I think that surprised a lot of people, because I think half the people I met with thought I was nuts, and the other half thought I was coming to ask them for money for some reason, right? And to me, it's all about trust and partnership, driving those deep levels of trust and partnership between Caterpillar, our local governmental leaders, our local business leaders. I'm on the phone 4 times a week with Rick Swan. I saw him walking in here earlier today. What a tremendous partner East Peoria is to Caterpillar. Right? We work very, very closely with Mayor Artis and Andrew Rand, and I can name 100 other people that we're in the room with every week, really driving trust and seeking win-wins, and you can't do that unless you trust your business partners. Let's be honest about it, Caterpillar is a very large company. We could get compliance on certain things in the community. We don't want that. We want trust, we want partnership, because that, to borrow Jennifer Zammuto's term, together stronger, is what makes us fly in this community. You think about all the great things that the EDC of Greater Peoria is doing. Caterpillar's at the table. We're not dictating where there's a partner. Every time you go to an EDC meeting with Jennifer Daly, you see Andrew Rand, you see the mayor there, you see Debbie Simon there, you see all great leaders coming together, working in true partnership to move the region forward. And it's working. If you look at the good work that EDC is doing, there's 90-some new apartments coming online in the warehouse district. Who thought we could do that, right? 200 more coming next year. Right? $16 million in new investments in downtown Peoria alone. And look at what East Peoria has done. They've just done so many great things through the leadership of Rick and Mayor Mingus. Those are the kind of things that Caterpillar wants to be a partner on. And together stronger, we can make that difference. And that's what I've been doing to prosecute my job over the last 3 years.
Ah, fantastic. Together stronger. That's our key message that we hope that you'll take away from our talk this morning. We're out of time, but we were delighted to get the privilege to come and hang out with you. And we hope that you will join us even more passionately and bring your friends, because we know that we can build a better world together, stronger, with your help. Thank you all. Have a great rest of your day.